Ohio State has had one scrimmage in spring practice, and yet some are starting to panic about quarterback Julian Sayin. I say, calm down, everybody. Locked on Big Ten starts right now.
You are Locked on Big Ten, your daily podcast on the Big Ten Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked on Big Ten. I'm Craig Sheeman, 40 years as a sports talk show host and play-by-play announcer. And I want to thank you for making us your first listen each and every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Hit that free subscribe button down below while you're watching. That way you won't miss a single episode. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. So, we have panic mode for the Buckeyes after just one scrimmage. We're going to dive into that. Plus, now that Michigan State has departed the Elite Eight, no Big Ten teams in the Final Four. 25 years since the Big Ten has won the national championship in men's basketball. But the Penn State Frozen Four, how about that for hockey? That's right. We have some thoughts on that. And we have Tuesday tweets all right here. But first, is there a crisis in Columbus at quarterback with Ohio State? Quarterback Will Howard, he's leaving big shoes to fill. He leaves the Buckeyes as a national champion. No problem. Everybody knows that five-star Julian Sayin has been with the program for a year, getting used to things, ready to take over. But without even playing a snap, he must be good because co-five-star recruit Aaron Nolan transferred out after last year to South Carolina because the writing was on the wall that Sayin was going to be the guy. However, panic, from what I read and hear, is settling in from this weekend's spring scrimmage at Ohio State because Sayin didn't look so great playing out there. Lincoln Kiennholz was the quarterback that looked the part. Now, Saturday was the first game-like setting for the Buckeyes this spring. Now, let me reemphasize, the first one, okay? Maybe Buckeyes fans expected Sayin to jump right in and look like a Heisman candidate on day one. By the way, I've actually read some pieces online where some pundits have him as a preseason Heisman watch kind of guy. To that, again, I say relax. The kid hasn't played a single down yet. Give him a break. Give him time to get used to things. It's going to take a minute. Or, maybe you're one of the more level-headed Buckeye fans, not the lunatic fringe that Kirk Herbstreit refers to. Maybe you're one that takes a breath and realizes this was the first scrimmage in Sayin's first shot at running the offense, the first team offense. And maybe it would be prudent to let Sayin get a few more practices under his belt before everybody hits the panic button. All right, we're just getting started here with this kid. And by the way, in case you're wondering as well, a five-star true freshman, Tavian St. Clair, from what I hear, really not in the mix for a starting job in 2025, although who knows with the future. Now, if you follow Buckeyes football, every year, Ryan Day talks about having a true open competition at every position, including and especially at quarterback. He loves that, loves the competition, likes to keep everybody on their toes, keep people guessing, even the players, so they perform at their best every day. And even in years where you and I both knew who the starting quarterback was going to be at Ohio State, we knew that under ideal situations, Day still likes to draw the quarterback competition out until a week and a half before the season opener, again, to keep everybody ready and sharp. And maybe even keep the opponents guessing a little bit as well. Then when game week arrives, QB1, front and center, getting ready to prep for that first game, getting ready for a true opponent. That's when things fall into place, usually at Ohio State. But what if Lincoln Kiennholz wins this quarterback battle this year? Would that be the worst thing, or would that be bad news? Look, he's got good size. He's 6'2". He was heavily recruited. Out of high school, a lot of schools wanted him. So he's got some talent, right? His senior year in high school in South Dakota, he passed for over 3,400 yards and threw for 46 touchdowns. He also ran for 1,400 yards and 24 more touchdowns. Quick math, that's 70 touchdowns. Kid can play football, all right? You know what? He was a USA Today National Player of the Year in 2023. He originally committed to play for the Washington Huskies before flipping to the Buckeyes. And when he arrived in Columbus, he was the third stringer. You remember the old quarterback battle between Kyle McCord and Devin Brown. Kiennholz was still pretty young there. He hadn't quite found his way just yet. He just completed 2 passes that season against Michigan State that year. But then you remember at the end of the year, the Michigan game ended. And even to Kyle McCord's surprise, he was out of there in a jiffy and transferred to Syracuse. Devin Brown was going to be the guy. He started the Cotton Bowl, but he got hurt. Kiennholz came in, got some significant playing time, where he went less than modest, 6 of 18 for 86 yards, and the Buckeyes lost 14-3. And at that point, it looked like the Buckeye program could go either way. But that's when they got going with the name, image, and likeness. They got Will Howard to come in, started adding some pieces, giving guys some name, image, and likeness deals. So they put off the NFL another year, and all of a sudden, the foundation of a national championship team was there. But back at the time of the Cotton Bowl, there were a lot of people going, ooh, we lost to Michigan again. We're losing the Cotton Bowl. Who's going to be quarterback? There were a lot of questions back there. But Kiennholz was part of it. He's still there. Every spring, I got him on a short watch list to see if he's going to transfer out because he always seems to be the guy left out. Maybe he sees this as his opportunity to make his mark at Ohio State. He's trying to grab the big moment here. You know, he's had yet another full season to be indoctrinated into the Buckeye system. He's very comfortable with it. So we'll see how this plays out. But the quarterback battle will definitely be one of the more interesting things to watch during Ohio State's spring game. Now that their spring game is back on, of course, scheduled for April 12th. Now, until then, some other storylines in Columbus to keep an eye on. You know, the Buckeyes are known for future NFL speedy wide receivers, and you really don't think of tight end much at Ohio State. But there's one to watch this year, and that's Purdue transfer Max Clare. He was really good on a really bad Purdue football team, and yet he was still named All Big Ten, despite not having a lot of talent around him and not winning a lot of football games. He played 18 games in his career there at Purdue, had 73 catches for 881 yards. But with Jeremiah Smith and the Buckeye wide receiver room, I'm not sure that Clare is going to get a whole lot of, I don't think he's going to set any receiving records at Ohio State. So he better work on his run blocking. Interestingly, Clare said that's one of the reasons why he picked Ohio State, to develop his blocking ability. He says going against the Buckeyes defense in practice every day, got to make him better and round out his game. So we'll see how he does. Otherwise, the Buckeyes are trying to replace 6 starters on offense and 8 starters on defense from last year's national championship team. And of course, then as we're looking ahead, as soon as we get through spring ball, the summer, the fall will be here before you know it. And that season opener, August 30th against Texas, will be here. And while we're not sure at this moment who the starting quarterback will be, whether it's Sayin or Kiennholz for the Buckeyes, we do know that the Longhorns will be coming, and they'll be coming with Arch Manning at QB1. We can't wait for this football game. It's going to be phenomenal. Hey, if you're checking us out for the first time, or maybe bouncing back here and there, hit that subscribe button down below. It's free, and that way you'll never miss an episode of Locked On Big Ten. Also, a note for you early morning commuters. Maybe you listen to our audio while you're driving on the video. We have an audio-only podcast, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, the same version, audio, but it comes out 2 hours earlier than our morning video feed. So if you really want to get a jump on it, check that out on the audio side as well. Don't forget to check out our website, talkbig10.com. That's the number 10, talkbig10.com. All of our podcasts go there. We also group them chronologically and also by your favorite school. So obviously go under Ohio State. And while you're there, Buckeyes fans, there's a link where you can buy some shirts and T-shirts and hats with all the Buckeye logos on them and all that right there. That's at talkbig10.com. Check that out. Get your school spirit on with all of that stuff. All right, talkbig10.com. So a quarter of a century has passed since a Big Ten team has won a men's basketball championship. Why is that, by the way? We'll explore Penn State, hockey powerhouse. They're in the Frozen Four, and we'll have our Tuesday tweets. All that's coming up right here in 1 minute on Locked On Big Ten. You ever check your bank account? Maybe every week, every 2 weeks. You go, man, I thought there was more money in there. Well, maybe you've been dining out a little too much. Online shopping, entertainment, it all adds up and you lose track. That's where Monarch Money comes in, your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center, and you can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place. So you stop just managing your money, but you start building wealth. So, and you realize just how much money you spend in certain areas when it's all spelled out for you. Instead of juggling multiple apps and finances and credit cards and pay this then and pay that then, put it all together with Monarch Money all in one place. You can even put your spouse or significant other all together in one place with finances and keep track of everything. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use the code LOCKEDONCollege at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONCollege for half off your first year. Again, monarchmoney.com. Imagine watching your favorite team live and in person instead of on TV. You get that energy of the crowd, makes the hair on your arms stand up, all exciting. You just witness these unforgettable moments that you'll remember forever. There's nothing like experiencing a big game in person. That's where Game Time comes in. Game Time helps you get the tickets. Getting tickets should not be a stressful big ordeal. Game Time makes it easier than ever to grab last-minute seats at unbeatable prices. They have Game Time picks. Curation makes it easier to find better value for tickets to sports, concerts, comedy, theater, etc. Anything that needs a ticket, they have it with Game Time. Just check the Game Time app. Got amazing deals. They got their lowest price guarantee, credit you 110% the difference if you find a better deal somewhere, which you probably won't, but they'll take care of you if you do. And they got the view from the seat of the ticket you're about to buy right there on your phone, and their lowest price guarantee, so you can book with total confidence. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. That's LOCKEDONCollege, LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Thanks for making Locked On Big Ten your first listen each and every day. We always appreciate that. And, of course, hit that subscribe button down below and share, follow, and like Locked On Big Ten, your team every day. Don't forget our website, talkbig10.com as well. As we settle into the idea that all four top-seeded teams made it to the men's Final Four, it was chalk right across the top. That's going to take place in San Antonio this weekend. Michigan State was in the Elite Eight. They got beat by Auburn on Sunday, but that put a nail in the coffin for the Big Ten for men's basketball, which now has officially not won a men's basketball championship in 25 years, quarter of a century. So why is that? By the way, Tom Izzo, Michigan State, they were the last team to do it back in 2000. In fact, Jace Richardson's dad, Jason, was on that team in 2000. That's how long it's been. We're next generation stuff here. So, look, there have been a lot of close calls and runner-up status along the way. No banners, though. We did a podcast on this 2 weeks ago. So what's going on? I mean, I personally think the Big Ten has great coaches, so that's not the problem. We have teams that can shoot like crazy. Others can run up and down the floor. It's not like the league is, playing an archaic style of bang it, slow it down basketball. Although, when need be, the Big Ten still can get very physical and grind you to a halt and play defense. So, look, here's what it boils down to, at least this year. I told you that at the beginning of the tournament, again on a podcast here on Locked On Big Ten, I said I thought that the Big Ten was really good this year, but not great. We admit that. They're not great, just really good. All season long, the conference littered the AP top 25 with 6, 7, 8 teams. But our teams were usually outside the top 10. They were mixed in the teens and the 20s in the rankings. And the SEC usually hogged up the top 10 in the single-digit rankings this year. So, again, that just goes back to my point that the Big Ten was really, really good, but not great this year. Although it was nice to see when the NCAA tournament started, the Big Ten started 8-0. Everybody won their first-round game, so that was awesome. 4 Big Ten teams got into the Sweet 16. That's not bad, but the Big Ten is the only Power 4 conference not represented in the Final Four in San Antonio this weekend. Speaking of Jace Richardson of Michigan State, he's got a decision to make about the NBA because he's improved so much as the season went on. After one season in East Lansing, a lot of people think he's going to be a first-round pick in the NBA draft if he goes. Spartans coach Tom Izzo, who just wrapped up his 30th season with Michigan State, and along the way has coached 22 NBA draft picks. Izzo thinks that Richardson should test the NBA waters. You just have to in this day and age if you have the ability to do so. The 6'3 Richardson, kind of a late bloomer. He was a top 40 recruit when he arrived out of high school, but there wasn't a lot of talk about him being a one-and-done guy, 1 year of college and going into the NBA at the time. In fact, he didn't even make his first start until February. By the way, he scored a career-high 29 points in that first start against Oregon. And as we mentioned, Richardson's father a moment ago, his father had a 13-year NBA career after leaving Michigan State after his sophomore season, in which he was an All-American. So we'll see. Let's see what happens. Well, I'm going to be curious to see what pieces of this Michigan State team comes back, what moves on, what they need to do in the portal moving forward. And I'm even curious if Tom Izzo, 70 years old, 30 years, does he say, hey, man, I'm good. Got a national championship back in the day. Just won the Big Ten regular season. I still got it. But 70, I don't know how much longer Tom Izzo is going to go. All right, now, let's talk a little bit of Big Ten hockey for just a minute here. By the way, congratulations to Penn State. Correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't Penn State hockey like in last place in the Big Ten standings 3 months ago? They started Big Ten play by losing the first 8 games. Then they had a 14-4-4 finish, and it earned them an at-large bid in the NCAA tournament. And following their 3-2 overtime win over UConn, the Nittany Lions punched their ticket to the Frozen Four. That is fantastic. They're going to face Boston U in the late game on Thursday, April 10th on ESPN2 at Enterprise Center in St. Louis. Western Michigan faces Denver in the early game. Championship game will be Saturday, April 12th. So congratulations. That's absolutely fantastic. And it even caused me to pause for just a moment and reflect on the Nittany Lions' accomplishments this past year. Just to name a few, lots to talk about with them here this past year. James Franklin, football team that made the college football playoffs. They lost only by 3 points to the college champion runner-up, Notre Dame. Wrestling continues to dominate college athletics in Happy Valley. And now Hockey Valley. They roll. Penn State, powerhouse. Congrats to them. That is phenomenal. We got some fun tweets coming up looking at the hockey team, all coming up on Tuesday tweets. If you are new to our podcast, we always close out with a fun feature like that. Mondays, we do my top 10 Big Ten observations from the weekend. I share them with you. Tuesdays, we do Tuesday tweets. Wednesdays, we power rank. I think tomorrow we're going to power rank the football schedules of the Big Ten. Who's got it easy? Who's got it hard? I'm telling you right now, I haven't even finalized the list. Wisconsin, that schedule's brutal. We'll see where they rank tomorrow. So tune in for that. Thursdays, we look at the Big Ten Network and Big Ten Classics and live action. And Fridays, we make our picks with whatever games are going on. So we got Tuesday tweets. We'll see if your tweet made it. Follow us on Twitter or X at Talk Big Ten. That's coming up next right here on Locked On Big Ten. So if you need to get some supplies for your skilled trade job, Supply House has it. That got a site where you just get everything, whether you're into plumbing, HVAC, electrical work. Supply House is the reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product information to help you get the job done right. Plus, with a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from over 400 top brands, you find exactly what you need delivered fast from coast to coast. It is absolutely phenomenal. And if you need help with an order, Supply House offers expert support and industry-leading service, so you'll always talk to a real person. And for trade pros looking for an extra edge, their free Trade Master program offers exclusive perks like dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Thousands of skilled professionals are already taking advantage. And now it's your turn. Join the Trade Master program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, you can use the promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order. That's all at supplyhouse.com, supplyhouse.com.
The NCAA tournament is here, and so is the bracket breakdown.
Locked On Podcast Network and Amazon Fire TV channels are teaming up to deliver NCAA tournament coverage like never before. Watch studio shows featuring former players and Locked On's local experts as they guide you through every upset, buzzer beater, and bracket matchup.
Stream it all for free on Amazon Fire TV channel. Search Bracket Breakdown to see it all for free.
It's your team every day.
All right, it's time now for our Tuesday tweets here on Locked On Big Ten. Again, hit us up on Twitter once in a while, or X at Talk Big Ten. And if it's good, creative, we'll put it on here. All right, let's go. We'll go full screen and check this out. And there we go. All right, so here's what we have. If you're audio only, we'll describe it to you in detail. This is a picture of the Penn State hockey team celebrating from at Penn State, MH hockey, and from last in the Big Ten to the last Big Ten hockey team standing. Frozen 4 bound. Hashtag we are Hockey Valley. I like that. It's pretty good. Here is a video from at Penn State Barstool when they scored the absolute banger in overtime to send the Nittany Lions to the school's first ever Frozen 4 game over, just like that. And here's a picture of the trophy with a commemorative hat, Big Ten champs hat from at Penn State Hockey. Good night, Hockey Valley, with welcome to Hockey Valley in the background there. Here is a picture from at Michigan State basketball, a special season, confetti coming down as they are Big Ten regular season champs, and the celebration there from that heading into the NCAA tournament. By the way, at the NCAA tournament game this weekend, this is from at Real Tony Garcia from the Detroit Free Press. Pictures of Michigan State dignitaries in attendance in Atlanta. On the left is Mark D'Antonio, and on the right is Kirk Gibson, former Spartan and Detroit Tiger. That's obviously during the national anthem, given their poses there. The crowd shots. This is from at Darko State News. Thank you for everything, with a picture of Jaden Akins, hashtag at Jaden Akins 3 in full uniform, ready to go. And finally, at Sparty on 70, picture of the Michigan State Spartans basketball team with Tom Izzo in there, all celebrating. Big Ten champs, Big Ten Coach of the Year, Elite Eight. Love this team and love our coach. Go Green. All right, on to from Michigan State to Michigan. Here's Dusty May cutting down the nets at the Big Ten tournament. This is from at U of M coverage. Dusty May in year one, 27-10 record, 19 more wins than last year. Big Ten tournament champions, Sweet 16 appearance, most conference wins by a first-year coach in Big Ten history. Congratulations. It's all very impressive. More at Michigan basketball. This is a picture of Danny Wolf talking to the media regarding Michigan basketball. He says, playing at Michigan this year was the greatest honor of my lifetime. I have so much respect and gratitude for my coaches for allowing me to come here. It was arguably the greatest year of my life, and I made so many amazing relationships. I met my brothers for life, and we had an unbelievable locker room, quote unquote. That is Danny Wolf saying goodbye. Here is from at IU Artifacts. It is a picture of the, I think that's Quinn Buckner and Scott May. It's a black and white picture celebrating 1976. There's Bob Knight in the plaid jacket off to the side. Perfection achieved 49 years ago today. Hashtag IU basketball. The last team to finish as an undefeated champion 49 years ago, 1976. Hasn't been done since. Meanwhile, speaking of Indiana championships, this is the anniversary of another one. This is old school 80s. And March 30th, 1987, Indiana defeated Syracuse 74-73 to win the NCAA men's basketball championship. Hashtag 80s. Keith Smart hitting the game winner. This is Keith Smart from the corner. That game was in New Orleans, Syracuse and the Hoosiers. Indiana wins. That was Bob Knight's third title, Indiana's fifth. And speaking of Indiana, at Recruits Indiana, breaking news, former Iowa guard Josh Dix, who's highly sought after. Remember, coaching change at Iowa. He's leaving. He's in the portal. In the process of scheduling a visit to Indiana. And he plans on Indiana being his final visit, which in many cases, the final visit is the one that ends up to be the most beneficial where they sign. All right, where they sign. Josh Dix may be an Indiana Hoosier. Stay tuned for that. All right, that's a look at our Tuesday tweets. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, send me one. If it's good, I'll put it on the show. No question about it. In the meantime, many ways for you to interact with the show, including Twitter or X at Talk Big Ten. Don't forget our website, talkbig10.com, number 10. All the information is on the crawl on the bottom right now if you're watching on video. Be sure to subscribe down below for free, and you'll never miss an episode of Locked On Big Ten. And don't forget, you early morning commuters, we have our audio-only versions that are available 24 hours a day, but they come out 2 hours earlier than this video one. So if you really want to get a jump on the day, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your audio podcasts, they're out there 2 hours earlier before the video. You can check that out as well. Go back in time, check out any of our past podcasts for a second listen on the day. Also invite you to tune in to our friends at Locked On College Basketball, Isaac Shade and Andy Patton. We're winding it down. The Final Four in San Antonio, they're all over at Locked On College Basketball. In the meantime, right here, Locked On Big Ten, we talk about all 18 teams, all the sports. Not only do we do the news, we have analysis and opinion as well on everything. There's no other podcast like this in America, all under one place right here. Locked On Big Ten. Thanks for checking us out. Can't wait till we meet again tomorrow. Tell your friends about us in the meantime. I'm Craig Sheeman for Locked On Big Ten.